Hanson. Well, first of all, you seem to be confident you're going to get up to 7 senators. That's a pretty big call, isn't it?
We've got 4 and possibly up to 7 seats, right, that we could win. Yes, it is.
Have you said a thank you note to Malcolm Turnbull?
I've been campaigning for the last 18 years, so I think I put a lot of work into it, and I've got to say thank you to Malcolm Turnbull for actually creating double dissolution, plus also changing the voting reform package that is actually more democratic to the voters, and rather than major political parties controlling the preferences. But the whole fact is, yes, it is going to be a huge responsibility to take my place in the Senate with the other senators. I have always said right from the very beginning that I will support anyone who is elected to the government, right, who is the government, which is Malcolm Turnbull. Now, insofar as to say that if they pass legislation that I believe is right for Australia and the Australian people, they will get my full support. If I don't, then I will look at making amendments to the changes, and I will explain to the people why. Peter was so right. This is why the major political parties lost so many votes at this election, because people are fed up with the major political parties. They feel they haven't been listened to and their voices are not being heard. So many changes need to be made in this country, and right across the board, every time I'm out in the public, there is another issue and another issue. I've pushed since prior to the election and since about changes to the Family Law Act, and I mentioned that in my maiden speech. Nothing has happened with that. I'm pleased to see now that the National Party are actually taking it up and looking at changing legislation to it, which I want to work with them on it, and I will be putting up my own policies.
So, we won't go into the detail of that, but let me just ask you this in a general sense. I'd ask the same question to Nick Xenophon. Will you use your voting power to force change, or will you just try and negotiate slowly over time with the government to see if you can incrementally change things? Because you could be in a position to actually say, well, I'm not going to vote for your major pieces of budget legislation or all sorts of other things unless you do what I want.
No, I won't do that, and I don't think that's right. I think what it's all about, if they put up legislation that is correct and I believe it's right for the people, I will support that. To be in this position is very important for the people. The people are relying on me and my other senators and every other senator in that parliament to make the right decision for their well-being and their future. And I don't believe you sell your soul because you might, make a little bit of gain somewhere else. You have to be there for accountability and honesty and for the people. And I'll always say that. Okay,
very briefly, because the first test will come soon, when there's a joint sitting of the House, will your senators vote for the ABCC, the Building Corruption Commission, which was at the centre of the double dissolution? Will you vote for it?
I haven't had a chance to look at the legislation on it. I haven't even moved into an office. I don't have staff. I don't have resources as what the other senators have to be informed of what the bill is. I would like to sit down and have a talk with unions, and I would like to have a talk with the small businesses as well. It is apparently not working, and I want to know what is the best way to move forward with this. You can't have unions dictating and controlling small business and running of the country or the government. So you have to find the balance there.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we've got